Good morning. Heard that. Can y'all hear me online as well? Awesome. So today I have a story to share that comes from the Hindu tradition. I would like to invite anybody who would like to come a little closer. Those who are young or young at heart or simply short in stature are welcome to join me in these front rows or even sit on the ground. If you are very young, and I don't see a whole lot of young folks here today, but I also want to point out that we have a new feature in our in-person sanctuary. It's called the We Worship Space, WEE. And it is for our weest worshipers and their adults to come and keep an eye on things. We have some quiet toys and some books and a little rug set out, sort of in recognition that everybody worships in different ways. And we'll talk more about that as we go on. But I made a little prop today for our story. The story we're going to tell today is a story from the Hindu tradition. And maybe I should take my mask off. It's not a worship service unless Reverend Sarah forgets to take off her mask when she's talking. That's better. So, because I'm crafty, I feel like this is peak, like crafty pastor. I made a jeweled net. So, far, far away in the abode of the great god Indra, who was the king of heaven, hangs a wondrous, vast net. Now, this is a wondrous, tiny net, but you've got the same idea. You might also think of a spider's web with dew on it. A wondrous vast net, intricate and lovely. It stretches out in all directions, and at each node or crossing hangs a glittering jewel. And since the net itself is infinite in dimension, the jewels are infinite in number. Sparkling jewels hang there, suspended and supported by the net, glittering like stars. Dazzling to behold. Are they glittering like stars? Kind of. Almost dazzling to behold. I'll take it. So if you would like, close your eyes or watch my magical dazzling net and imagine what this jeweled net looks like spread across the vast expanse of space. Almost like the stars connected. Now, with your eyes closed or open, move in to look closely at one jewel on the net. If you look closely, you will see that this shiny, polished surface reflects all the other jewels in the net. And remember, they are infinite in number. Each jewel reflects every other one. Just like if you have two mirrors opposite each other, they will reflect an image back and forth forever. Each jewel in this net also reflects all the other jewels. The reflection is infinite. Now, open your eyes and look at those around you. Think of those whom you love. You are a sparkling jewel in Indra's net, just like everyone that you know. And every jewel is connected with every other jewel in the net. Each person is intimately connected with all the other people. Each jewel is independent in the net, but they all reflect and influence each other. What happens, if I can get some help from Greg, what happens if you pull on one of these jewels in the net? Moves the entire net. So each jewel is individual, but they are all connected. And what we do as one jewel will change the rest of the net. Realize too that when you look at the reflections in one jewel, those reflections are an illusion. They aren't the actual jewel, they're an image of the jewel. That reminds us that appearances are not always reality, but sometimes they are reflections. I may not look like a sparkling jewel, but I am. The true nature of a thing is not to be captured by its appearance alone. Appearance is only a reflection of what is real. And when Greg pulled on one of those jewels, we saw that whatever we do to one affects the entire net. If you've ever seen a spider's web, you know that you can't damage one little piece of a spider's web without damaging the whole web. And you can't damage one strand of this net without injuring everything in it, whether people realize that's what's happening or not. And this can work for good or it can work for ill, because we can change things for the better as well as cause harm. So when we do loving and constructive and compassionate acts, we are also affecting the entire net. A single helpful act, even one simple act of kindness, will send positive ripples across this infinite net, touching every jewel and every person in existence. This is one way of looking at the world that we take from a Hindu tradition, which is also part of the Buddhist tradition, and is one of the many ways that we can understand the world through the lenses of the stories of many faiths. I invite